Well, today on the show, we're at Quest Medical over on Courthouse Road in Gulfport. Quest Medical having been serving the Gulf Coast for, well, let's see, I can't add up real quick, but since 1999. But not too long ago, they got in the prosthetics world. John Robichaux is the owner. Now, how you doing, John?
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Doing well.
Now, you bought the company in 2013.
Correct.
And you just recently, I mean, your background is prosthetics. As far well in medical, okay. Let me take it back. You have been in the medical field yourself for 22 years. Here recently, more so prosthetics.
Correct.
Okay, so I had to get that story straight. But there's a lot of people that may end up needing a prosthetic for some reason. Losing a lower limb, an arm, or something for different reasons. It could be diabetes, could be an accident or something like that. If someone is looking for a prosthetic, run us through the process they go through when they come in here. Like if you're watching this on the show right now, and they see it, they say, "I want to find out what do they need to do."
I'm hoping there's a number across the bottom of the
There
screen.
is.
There you go. So it's 228-539-0034.
Yep.
That's step one. If they pick up a phone and dial those numbers, somebody's going to answer a phone, and we start working the process from there. What's really easy is we can go out to a patient and see them in the comfort of their own home, because a lot of them, it's difficult for them to travel depending on what their scenario is. You mentioned accidents and diabetes, so everyone has a different issue that's going on. I mean, they may all be amputees, but they're definitely different. The other way, they call that same number, schedule an appointment, come in. We are open 7 days a week by appointment. I think we are the only one on the coast that currently offers that.
Wow.
And I like to look at that as an advantage, because sometimes it's difficult for those amputees to travel during certain times of the day. A weekend with a caregiver is much easier. Again, while we also offer the ability to go out to the patient. The most important thing is to see them in a timely manner, get a good evaluation, and figure out what's the right treatment protocol for them.
Now, I mean, you right there, right off the top, service is one of the key things for Quest Medical, and being able to service these people and their needs.
Absolutely. We're one of the few locally owned and operated. There are some big guys, and there are some locally owned and operated, some that come in from other towns and like to drop in and see the business that they can accumulate. But we are truly owned and operated right here out of Gulfport, Mississippi. Gulfport, Mississippi. Yeah, tongue twister, and here to stay. I'm really excited about this venture. We've only been in prosthetics for about a year. I've got almost, like you said, 22, 26 years of medical experience, and was really intrigued by this field. Had some friends that were in it, know some people that were amputees, and I think there are a lot of great companies out there, but I feel like we have hopefully something a little different to offer from a customer service perspective, and some of the ongoing things that we're trying to develop as far as patient advocacy programs and getting these patients together and kind of a cohesive group where they can actually have some fun together too.
Now, when somebody comes in, okay, they've called the number on their screen,
Sure,
made an appointment, they've come in. You have different staff members here that have different jobs as far as fitting, measuring, doing all that stuff.
Right. We're currently staffed with two process. One's a CPO and one is a CP. One's certified process orthotist, the other was a certified process.
Okay.
They alternate on different days depending on what our schedule is. So they would come in and, the first thing of someone showing up for the first time, they've never had a prosthesis. There's of course an evaluation and a process where that limb is looked at, and the process determines what's going to be the next step. One of the most common things is if they've had surgery and they're out from surgery, say 5 or 6 weeks, 3 to 5 weeks, they're getting a shrinker, which they stay in, which kind of helps set limb volume and determines a lot of things the process may want to do. That's kind of how it starts, and it just progresses. The thing I'm really proud of is that the process I've been able to align myself up with, not every patient's the same. Each one's different, each one's an individual, and so although there might be the latest, greatest technology out there, that may not be for everyone. You have to set realistic expectations of what that patient wants to achieve in their daily living and what we can offer to help them do that. Some of the higher tech items just really aren't as functional for that individual that wants to go just to the mailbox. than if they want to go play tennis.
It's like you're answering all my questions that I have in my head before I even get to answer them, because yeah, you were right on that. I mean, yeah, my next thing was not everything. You determine for each individual's needs.
Sure.
What they're going to need. They might not need something that high tech, and you see that a lot on TV. You know, people showing the latest robotics when it comes to prosthetics and things like that. But that may not be for me what it is for somebody else.
Absolutely. Sometimes you'd be surprised that the whole simpler is better can truly be very effective. A lot of the higher end prosthetics, sometimes they are actually heavier because you put a microprocessor in a knee.
Right.
Well, it's going to get heavier. So yes,
well, sure,
it does some intricate things, which are great, but if the limb volume doesn't really support a heavier prosthetic, then the lightest mechanisms you could produce for them would be a better choice, depending on again what the prosthesis sees.
Well, like you see these runners nowadays.
Oh, absolutely.
With the was it the blade?
The blade runners.
Yeah, the blade runner. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, when they talk about him, he's in jail.
Yes, bad subject. Bad subject.
Moving along, but but even something like that, as simple as that. I mean, that's different than this, but that could be for someone that is more into being more active outside.
Absolutely. There's different levels of functional levels where they call them a K1, a K2, a K3. So that determines what functional level that the patient will be treated at, through Medicare, their insurance company, et cetera, because that's a whole other game. It's very challenging.
I was going to get to that at some point.
Very challenging.
Is there a role that insurance can play into something like this?
Absolutely, because based on what the clinician sees and documents and what their notes from their physician have been documented as, that kind of determines when the insurance company looks at it on an evaluation standpoint of what they're going to allow that patient to get. So
I was just looking at your flyer here. We are currently a provider for over 500 insurance plans.
Yep.
That's amazing.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
I think there's about 524 actually.
Wow, that's over 500. But all the different things, and just reading this, the different types of lightweight prosthetics that you have, carbon fiber, titanium, and then once you get them in here, then you work with them on being able to use them properly.
Sure. One of the process that's gone through the protocol with them, developed their unique leg, fit, socket. It's a process. Let's say it takes 2 to 4 weeks for the process to play itself out, right? And they have their new prosthetic. Once they've had it for a while and are trying to use it, we're continuously working with them on the mechanism, the motion of actually walking, working, because it is something new and foreign to them, And so the most important thing is, get them walking. John,
we're out of time. Thank you so much for all the great information. If you'd like some more information from Quest Medical, give them a call. Numbers on your screen. They're located in Gulfport.